Yeah, it's a great question. I think that the point of the success series initially, I don't think there was a clear mission behind it. I think our thought process was let's put content out there. Let's find a way to connect people that are studying at the Kabbalah Center currently, give them more of a purpose and a way to share their story. And it's evolved into something great that I think a lot of people are being both impacted and inspired by. And, as we put out more content and, we often get questions, are you monetizing this? Is there a financial gain for you from this? And the answer is no, this is completely donation based. All of the content that we put out there is going back to the Kabbalah Center, which is a non-for-profit organization. And so my inspiration, and I know that the team's inspiration as well, is we want to impact as many lives that are in their 20s and 30s, struggling to find purpose, intention, suffer with anxiety and depression like I once did. And I know that without the tools of Kabbalah, it would be impossible for me to both achieve any bit of success, but then also feel happy throughout that. I was like any typical college kid, partying on the weekends, wasn't taking school seriously, didn't have much purpose, understanding of what I wanted to do with my life. And so I was just going through the motions and, things were good and then things weren't so good. And I hit rock bottom in a sense in my own way. And that's when I had an opening to come and study Kabbalah. And so initially, I was studying maybe like once a week, taking basic intro classes to it, getting back into it a bit. I'd grown up in the wisdom. My grandparents founded the Kabbalah Center. My parents run it today. And so I've always been immersed in it. But I think, that kind of pushed me away like any teenage rebellious kid. And now I found tremendous wisdom, knowledge, and I can't envision my life without it today. All the blessings that I have are directly from it. And I think when people initially come and hear the word Kabbalah, maybe they have a connotation of it that isn't the most positive, or maybe they've never heard of it before. My inspiration and desire to put out this content is to help people who maybe feel like it's something so vast and so great that they have to be a certain age before they start to study, or they don't even know where to start. And so I hope that I can simplify it, deliver it in a bite-sized way, and that's the intention behind the success series, behind the content that I roll out there myself on my own page, and all of the different events that we do. We've started to do some events here locally in Miami. And essentially what it is it's about 100 to 200 people getting together that are in their early 20s and 30s, seeking purpose. It's over sushi, sake, and a bit of consciousness. Really light and easy way for people to come and get comfortable with it. And all of our guests that are on the Success Series show have either studied in the Kabbalah Center or practiced some form of spirituality. And what I've seen in all these various conversations is that without some form of spirituality in your life, you may be successful, you may make a ton of money, but there is no way that you can maintain that happiness, which is really, shocking to many, especially given that the desire for, myself and this generation is just to hit a certain level of financial wealth and success. And then there's this belief that at that point, your problems will kind of dissipate, things will work out the way you'd like them to, you'll be happy. Most of the people that we've spoken with actually say it's the opposite. They make all this money and then they're emptier than they've ever been before. And that's when there's an opening for spirituality. And so, again, to reiterate, I hope that as this content continues to roll out there, more lives are inspired. People that don't have access to spirituality, that live in the middle, of the country or the middle of the world, maybe without a family, without guidance, can rely on us as a source for them. We hope to maintain this as a donation-based platform where there are never any charges. It's accessible to everybody, regardless of their financial situation. And I'm excited for what's next. I think that we're just getting started. It's a constant, exciting journey of new content and new ideas. And we'd love to hear from you guys. I think that's the most exciting part about this, in the sense where you're starting a company and the initial core team is influencing the product and the way the company will be shaped. That's how I view this platform. That's how I view the Success Series. You as the audience can recommend guests, can be a guest on the show even, can help us with events, can participate in events, can, promote different ideas that maybe we should be rolling out as far as content-wise goes. And so this is a really open platform. You can DM us always. You can message us and submit your emails on the successseries.com website, as well as our social media channels, which are always great. And so, again, we've recorded 33 episodes thus far. When we record 3,300, we'll still just be getting started. But I hope that those of you that are already on this journey with us today feel comfortable enough to participate, to show, both your feedback, willingness to participate in this as well. And I think the last thing that I would say, so I'm 25 years old today, and I've been speaking with a lot of friends that I went to college with. And I think it's funny. It's like when you're in college, for those of you that have gone to college or even high school, there's this belief and this feeling like you're one community, like these friends will be with you forever. And it provides a sense of security and a sense of purpose, even in those, periods of life where you maybe don't have the most clarity in other areas. And so we hope to recreate that community for you. If you feel lost, if you're looking for friends, if you're looking for a global community, this is your place to both excel in life, find people that are like you, and continuously grow in your spiritual connection. I don't profit financially at all from this podcast. Even as we grow to millions of subscribers and our channels grow, there is no monetary gain that I like to gain from it. I receive so much blessings and joy just from being able to participate in this and to meet the cool people that I'm meeting and putting the content out there. It's so much fun that I feel like I've already received the reward, and now I'm looking for a way to give back. So again, to reiterate, completely charity-based, and the hope is that any money and profits that are made through this can be given to help spread this wisdom with more people and have people that maybe don't have the funds to have access to it a way to. As far as the grander vision for this podcast, I think that the world, as most of us know, is in a state of rockiness, of divide, of separation, whether it's the wars that are going on around the world, whether it's our political beliefs. And I think that if you can have one platform where there's no hate, there's no measure of you're this religion, you're that religion, you're a Democrat, you're a Republican, none of that really matters, right? The intention behind this is we all want good for ourselves and for the world. And spirituality is not something that's tied down to a religion, which I think is the beauty of Kabbalah. You can be a Christian, a Muslim, a Jew, an atheist, and still study this wisdom with us. And so the barrier to entry is zero. You can be 10 years old, 20 years old, 50 years old, 100 years old, it doesn't matter. And I think as we grow, what I'd hope to see is more and more people impacted by the purity and the simplicity of this wisdom in a way that isn't accessible anywhere else in the world today. There's no way that you can scroll through TikTok and doom scroll for hours and find lasting gratification. You might feel good for 5 minutes, for 10 minutes, maybe an hour. But with the Success Series and with the podcast and the content that we roll out here, the intention is that we're giving you bite-sized wisdom that you can then go ahead and take and apply directly to your life and see the benefits. What's very exciting for me is that we've actually seen people who have only been following us for a couple weeks or maybe watched a couple episodes and have already said that their life has improved for the better. They found job opportunities, their anxiety went away, their depression went away. And so that's inspiring to me. And what's most exciting for me is the lives that are impacted. I've had friends that I went to college with that are now messaging me, telling me how helpful this has been to them, that they were looking for something exactly like this their entire lives, and now they found it. And I think it's funny, we're at such a seed level of this, right? We have, maybe 10, 20,000 viewers on YouTube, a couple thousand followers on Instagram. And so I think there's a sense of purity and excitement for me, and I think for all of you, in being at the seed level of things. We see, people that have manifested great things. And those of you that were on their journey really early on, whether it's your favorite YouTube creator, whether it's entrepreneurs at their early stages of their company, there's an excitement and a level of influence that I think you as a viewer, as a participant can have at this stage. And so I'd love to just encourage all of you to really feel like you're part of this. This isn't us releasing content to you. We're taking your feedback, we're inspired by you, and releasing it like that. I think the Success Series is solving many problems. If I had to kind of boil it down to one, I think there's so much content out there. There's so many podcasts out there that promise to do different things and solve different needs, and I'm sure many of them do. But I think the Success Series is unique in that it really bridges the worlds of spirituality and success. And sure, there are millions and millions of videos on YouTube, how to make money, how to learn real estate. And I know they're helpful. I've listened to them and I've been inspired by them myself. But what they lack is that continuity, which I think is only available through spirituality. And so in everything that we do, right, maybe we're driving fancy cars, maybe we're talking to celebrities, but the consistent theme is that all these individuals, including myself, understand that without spirituality, none of this matters. It's not possible. The happiness isn't lasting, and ultimately there isn't purpose to it. Kabbalah and spirituality, I think, are very much intertwined. I think that all forms of spirituality globally and just around the world are influenced in some way by Kabbalah. It's the most ancient wisdom. It dates back thousands of years. For me, it's impacted me in every area of life, but I think one where I don't know how it exists without is just that sense of purpose and excitement when I wake up in the morning. Having, I would say 90% of the time, a feeling of real excitement for the day, for the week, for the month is only because of the tools of Kabbalah. If I had, like I was when I was 18, 19 years old, waking up with the thought of how can I receive today? How can I get more today? It's a never ending cycle to just complete sadness and depression. And so the tools of Kabbalah, one of my favorite tools is when you give, you are in turn receiving, has just provided so much meaning and purpose in my life. Knowing that I can inspire people, knowing that I can help people, that I can give back what I've received is the most exciting thing in the world. Great question. If one wants to join our community, be a guest on the show, join our events, the two simplest ways to do that is one, going on our website, thesuccessseries.com, entering your information there. Immediately we'll add you to our database, include you in events, consider you for podcasts, and really just kind of envelop you in the content that we're putting out there. The second thing that I would say is DMing us directly on Instagram. We're always monitoring that. And it's just a really good way for us to see you on a personal level, put a face to the name, comment on our episodes, comment on our reels. The really cool part about all of this is that these aren't successful people who are now spiritual, but they're successful because they're spiritual. And that's the common denominator behind all of these people. Majority of them have practiced many years in the Kabbalah Center and applied the wisdom to their lives. And many of the things that they both share, both in the podcast, but as well as at their place of work, are direct teachings of Kabbalah. And they all share the same belief, which is without the wisdom of Kabbalah, maybe I would have been an actor, maybe I would have been a celebrity, but I definitely would not have been happy. And that is the one thing that they always tie back to the Kabbalah Center. And that's what gets me excited about this podcast. And I think it's really cool because it gives guests an opportunity to both share their experiences with the youth of this world today that is struggling to find meaning and purpose, and also really brings down somebody who maybe you look at as a celebrity or a famous person or unattainable. And through this podcast, you're able to see that they're actually just like you with a little bit more spirituality and with a little bit more experience. And that's it. I think the one thing that I would want to share with the younger generation, myself included in that, is something that I just wish I'd learned sooner in life. And that's really understanding what restriction of instant gratification really means. I talk about this sometimes with friends. I don't think I've ever shared it publicly on this platform, but we live in a society where the desire to receive is so great. And specifically in the younger generation, whether it's pornography, whether it's hypersexualization of things, of people, vaping, alcohol, abuse of food, it falls under so many categories. And unfortunately, I don't think it's spoken about to the younger generation. And so there's this belief that it's just the norm, that it's okay to be doing all those things at 16, 17, 18, 19 years old, which knowing now and seeing, myself and my friends at 25, 26 years old, many people that do those things at that age, they ruin the rest of their lives. It's not like you can go ahead and just completely lack restriction for 5, 6 years and then say, okay, now I'm serious, I'm 22, 23 years old, I'm going to stop those things. Many become alcoholics, many become addicted to cigarettes, many become addicted to sex, and it doesn't go away. And so I would really say, and again, I'll reiterate this, if you're listening to this and you're in your teens or young adults, even later in life, just try to stop doing those things. Try to stop gradually. It doesn't need to be all at once, but at least become conscious of it. In the Zohar, it says that 90% of the battle is completed by the light of the Creator, which is a higher force. And the 10% is us simply acknowledging that we're struggling and understanding where we have lack and the areas that we don't restrict in. Once we have that understanding, the rest of it is eradicated. All that addiction and pain immediately goes away. And so I would ask yourself to look within. What are areas in your life where you're not restricting, whether it's food, whether it's alcohol, whether it's drugs, whatever the case may be, just try to stop doing it now, because what those things do are limit your desire, cause you not to have purpose in life, direct cause of your anxiety. As soon as those things go away, it's like you've completely lifted a veil of all the problems in your life. Things become simple, things become clear, you have purpose, you have excitement. You're not walking around with a hoodie and your head down all day. You're smiling, your face is glowing. And maybe I'll even put a picture here, myself at 19 years old and myself today. Very different people. And it's only because of that exact thing. I was not restricting, I was abusing everything, and I went completely the other way and I stopped doing those things. And I had a sense of purpose in life, a sense of meaning, and now I'm here inspiring you all today. Thank you.